Inequalities. How do we solve them? And how do we write solution in interval notation? Let us try to understand the concept with the help of 10 examples. Simple ones to begin with, fractions in between, negative values of x and double inequalities later. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In this video, we'll have a very simple approach to solve inequalities and we'll show the solution in interval notation. Here are 10 questions in increasing level of difficulty, and I hope after solving this particular set of 10 questions, you will gain confidence in moving on and taking up more challenging inequality questions. So let's make a beginning. So you can actually pause the video, answer these questions, and then look into my suggestions. We'll begin with the first two. Well, in case you want to learn directly from me, feel free to send email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. Our students are right there on the top. So let's begin with the very first equation, which is x minus 1 is greater than 5. So this symbol is for greater than. How do we solve it? Solution is very similar to that of solutions for equations. We'll do the same operation on both the sides. In this case, we are going to add 1 on both the sides. So if I add 1 on both the sides, what really happens? Minus 1 plus 1 becomes 0, and we are left with just x greater than 5 plus 1, right? Which is 6, correct? So we can write this as x is greater than 6 as a solution. Well, this is also a solution which is in inequality form. However, in the question, we have specifically mentioned to write solution in interval notation. So to write a solution in interval notation, x greater than 6, we'll write it as open bracket means the number starting is not included. In this case is 6, and it goes up to infinitely large number, and you cannot also include infinity. So that becomes the solution of this particular problem. So I hope these steps are absolutely clear. Now let's take up question number 2. Question number 2 is x plus 2 is less than. So this sign here is for less than. We'll take away 2, and so we can write x is less than 0 minus 2, or we get a solution x is less than minus 2. Now there is no need to write 0 minus 2. I just mentioned for some students who can understand what am I doing. At this stage, I'm basically doing take away 2 from both the sides, correct? And later on, we are not going to even mention that. We'll solve as you solve equations. So we have a solution. This time, it is that x values are less than minus 2. Means the lowest value is going to be negative infinity. Since you cannot reach infinity, we have an open bracket. And minus 2 is also not included. So in these two examples, which we just solved for you, the limits on the outside are not included. Let's move on and take the next two questions. So we have 2x minus 3 greater than equal to 7. So let's rewrite this question. 2x minus 3, the symbol is for greater than and equal to 7. Add 3 both sides to get 2x is greater than equal to 7 plus 3, right, which is 10. Let me rewrite. Greater than equal to 10. Now divide by 2, we get x is greater than equal to 10 divided by 2, or we get x is greater than equal to 5. Now we have the solution here, which is x is greater than equal to 5. How do we write it? In interval notation. So in interval notation, we have to include 5. So this is the beginning, right? 5. and goes up to infinitely large positive values which cannot be included. So that is how we are going to write the solution for this inequality. So here is an example where one end is closed, right? 5 is included. Let's do the next question, which is 3x minus 4 is less than equal to 3. So here also one end will be closed, right? Included. So we'll add 4 on both the sides. We get 3x is less than equal to 3 plus 4, which is 7, right? X dividing by 3, we get 7 over 3. So you get answers in fractions also. How will you write this as a solution? So when it is less than equal to, 7 over 3 is included and all values below 7 over 3 are included. So we'll write this as from minus infinity to 7 over 3, where 7 over 3 is included. So this square bracket includes the value and the open bracket excludes that value. I hope this part is absolutely clear. Perfect. So now you understand less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to. Perfect. Well, in case you want to learn directly from me, feel free to send an email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. Our students are doing extremely well. They get admission to the best universities and sometimes with scholarship also. Thank you. Moving forward, we have question number 5 and 6. Here we have fractions and see how do we solve these inequalities with fractions. So let's rewrite the question, which is half of x plus 3 less than minus 5. We can take 3 to the other side, so we get half of x is less than minus 5 minus 3. So we have half of x is less than minus 8. So far, no problems, right? Half of x. To get rid of half, we should multiply by 2. And so we get x is less than minus 16. This is when you multiply minus 8 by 2, you get minus 16. And that is the solution, right? So the solution can now be written x is less than minus 16, left side of minus 16. Lowest value will be minus infinity, starting from minus 16, which is not included. So I hope that is clear, right? So that is how you're going to write down the solution. Now let's take the next example, which is 2x plus 1. Everything divided by 3 is greater than equal to 5. Now just multiply by 3 on both sides. When you multiply by 3 on both sides, you get 2x plus 1 is greater than equal to 5 times 3, which is 15, right? Now take away 1, so we get 2x is greater than equal to 15 minus 1, which is 14, right? So let me rewrite this as 14. And dividing by 2, we get greater than equal to 7. Perfect. So you get your solution, this time greater than equal to 7, means the solution is from 7 to infinitely large values and infinity can never be included. So I hope so far things are clear to you, right? Perfect. Now let's move on and take question number 7 and 8. Now at this stage, since you have learned all the technique, you can use these two examples as your practice test questions. We have 2 minus 3x greater than 11. Well, this is slightly tricky. So we have this question as 2 minus 3x is greater than 11. So we can take away 2. So we get minus 3x is greater than 11 minus 2, or minus 3x is greater than 9, right? Now we have to divide by minus 3. Now division by minus 3 is very, very critical. Imagine this. If 5 is greater than 3, then minus 5 is less than minus 3. So this is important to mention. So now if I divide by minus 3, I get x is less than 9 divided by minus 3. Division by negative or multiplication by a negative number reverses the sign. That is how this is very important example. And what we get here is x less than minus 3 as our solution, which can be written as we are not including anything here, so it is from minus infinity to minus 3. Is that clear to you, right? So when there is minus with which you multiply or divide, the inequality sign also changes. Perfect? Absolutely clear? Right. Now, can you do the next question? Here again we have minus x, right? So first step, let's copy this question, which is half, and within brackets 5 minus x is less than equal to 1. Multiply by 2 to get rid of this half, right? You get 5 minus x is less than equal to 2. Now, you can do one more thing. Instead of subtracting 5 and then multiplying by minus 1, we can take minus x to the other side and 2 to the left side, right? So we can rewrite this as 5 minus 2 is less than equal to x. Do you understand this step? So what we did was we added x on both the sides, correct? And we subtracted 2 from both the sides. And you get this, right? This is a very neat step. 5 minus 2 is 3. And we have x is greater than equal to 3, correct? And now you can rewrite the answer as square brackets for greater than equal to infinitely large value as the upper limit of this solution, and we get 3 to infinity as the solution for this particular question. At this stage, I'll also suggest that once you get your equation and its solution, you should substitute the values and check. If I substitute 3, do I get less than equal to 1? This is what you need to check. Perfect. Double inequalities. So now let's take up the last problem here, which is actually double inequalities. So till now we had solved equations which were having one inequality sign. Now in this particular case, what we have is a double inequality. Let us try to understand how do we solve a double inequality. So we have minus 3 is less than 2x plus 1, which is less than 5. So let me rewrite the question, which is minus 3 is less than 2x plus 1, which is less than 5. So first we should subtract 1 from all these things, right? So we'll do minus 1, and minus 1. So what do you get? Minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4, which will be less than 2x, plus 1 minus 1 cancels, and this is 4. And now you can divide by 2, right? So if I divide by 2, each one of them, in that case, I get my solution, which is minus 2 is less than x is less than 2. And now, can you write down the solution in the form of an inequality? It is bound from both the sides, we say. So, and we have less than, minimum value is minus 2 and the maximum is plus 2, both not being included. So that becomes the solution set. So I hope this step is clear, right? Now the last one here is slightly more tricky. So let's begin by copying the question, which is 0 less than equal to 4 minus 2x less than equal to 10. So first step, what we should do is take away 4. So we get minus 4 is less than equal to minus 2x is less than equal to 10 minus 4, which is 6. So we have subtracted 4 from all the three parts, right? Now we can divide by minus 2. When you divide by minus 2, inequality sign should also change, right? And minus 4 minus 2 will give me plus 2, correct? This will be x, and that becomes minus 3. Makes sense? When you divide by a negative number, inequality should change. And we get a solution that x is less than 2, equal to 2, greater than equal to minus 3, whose solution I can now write down with square brackets from minus 3 to 2. Perfect. So that is how you're going to answer this particular question. Write down the solution in interval notation for a double inequality. So as you can see in this particular video, we have seen solution of 10 questions. We have inequalities of different forms, simple ones, the ones where x is negative, right, and the ones which are double inequalities. I hope that gives you the depth of knowledge which you're looking forward to. Look into our playlist for more videos to practice. Thank you and all the best.